Hello and welcome back. It's Matt and James from Christopher Shaw here. This is going to be our spring update. It's been a little while since we've recorded one of these for you, but the truth is we've just been extremely busy. Coming out of lockdown, it's kind of catapulted us back into a really busy lettings market, and there's not been a great deal to kind of talk about. We've kind of been waiting for legislation updates and things. There's been nothing kind of meaty to bring to you. And we've just been trying to catch up from some lost months, really.
Indeed, yeah, it has been. It's been very, very busy indeed. There's been lots of activity in the market, but then it's sort of ebbed and flowed, hasn't it, Matt? I think that we've experienced quite a bit of, supply and demand issues. I think is probably the easiest way to explain
Yeah, I think that's probably the one thing to let you know is that the market's really busy and there is a big property shortage across Bournemouth and Poole. So anything that we've put on that is nice, clean, and priced reasonably, even stuff that's been priced quite expensive in our opinion, is actually performed really well and rented really, really quick. We're probably averaging 48 hours to rent a property or less. Some properties are being taken without viewing based on videos, and some are just being taken before they even go to market because we have a big surplus of tenants on our database at the moment. So yeah, it's a bit fierce out there, and is creating, as we say, a real demand for stock, but also it is creeping rents up. So if you are thinking of getting another property or adding to your portfolio, or you have other properties which currently aren't rented by us, and you're thinking of putting them on the market or they're empty, then I think right now is a very good time to list.
It certainly is a strong time, and I think we've seen at the moment probably more than usual demand for houses. We've had at least three that have gone through in the last couple of weeks, which is a bit more than what we normally get for any time of year, because people tend to stick in the houses and stay for a long period, and just happens to be that the three have come up and they've been super popular.
Snapped up, yeah. We've had multiple offers on those properties, and obviously brings forward very strong applicants as well. So I think landlords at the moment, you have the benefit of having the choice often of the best possible tenants, people in very strong positions, but obviously they're very motivated to snap something up because they know it's very, very hard right now. So yeah, it's a good time, but the problem is supply and demand, feast and famine. We're always running out of stock, and we're not holding stock for long periods of time. So what we'll find is we'll have a really busy week, we'll have loads to move in, and then we'll be trying to find more property. So we talked today about potential incentivization. If you are one of our landlords, or you are aware of other landlords or friends of yours, family of yours that have property that are not let out, or they're thinking of getting into this, we're more than happy to offer incentives for you for recommending us, and incentivizing yourself with anything really. It could be discounted management, it could be a nice bottle of champagne, or a hamper, or a voucher, or even just cash, cold hard cash as well, because we're keen to obviously keep our activity levels up and be busy through the summer months. It's very frustrating to know that it's a busy market when you have very little stock to offer because you've let it all, and that's a good problem, but it is a problem nonetheless.
Indeed. But moving on, so we spoke about sort of changes to legislation and things that have been going on in the background, and you may have heard about this time last week that they were changes to the eviction legislation that was brought in as part of the Coronavirus Act last year. It's been a bit of a sore subject for landlords, as lots of people had to suffer with giving 6 months notice if they require their properties back. Now, the good news is from the 1st of June, the 6 month notice period is being rolled back and will now be 4 months. So still not quite where it was under normal circumstances, but it is slightly better than what it was for landlords if anybody is in need of looking to give notice for whatever reason. There are still some exceptions to that under the Section 8, but again, anything that was previously a 6 months notice period has now been rolled back to 4. That's quite a big thing, a big change, because it's been quite tough on landlords over the last year, where they've had the 6 months notice period to deal with. But now that's been rolled back slightly, and I think that the 4 months will make things a bit more comfortable for people. And the courts are going to be reopening back up soon, which is also good news. Although I'm sure there'll be quite a backlog of cases and of situations for them to deal with. We've I had a lot of questions from landlords about the Section 21 changes in general, actually, because the government have made it clear under the Renters Reform Bill that they wanted to scrap Section 21. That is still quite a way off from our understanding. There's nothing really that we are aware of that's going to happen. There's lots of talk about what things they want to do or what people's ideas are behind Section 21. But as far as we're aware, through various sort of sources and industry professional bodies and things like that, there's not really anything to report back on that. It's on the cards, but at this stage, it's nothing to get worried about. And if they do bring it in, of course, there'll probably be quite a long period of consultation, adjustment, and anything like that, just to rein in so everyone can understand what the new legislation is going to be. Because I think if they do change it, it might result in some quite big changes, but at the moment there's no news on that.
There's a lot of moving parts, isn't there, with housing courts and things? So.
Indeed, lots of things for things to be considered. So at this stage, nothing to worry about. We'll keep you in the loop of when we know things are going to happen, but at the moment, everything that you might be hearing is probably just guesswork, because there's nothing that's been actually laid out by the government at this stage as to what the new forms of Section 21, even if it exists, are about. But there's all sorts of things that might change. But at this stage, nothing's really concrete with that. So that's sort of the bit of an update from that. Other bit of legislation, interesting piece that came in as of the 1st of May was the breathing space for people that are in debt, and that now includes things like rent arrears. Breathing space was brought in to help people that are struggling financially. Might not just be property or rent or mortgage debts, it's things like credit cards, all that kind of stuff. If people are in debt, then they can apply through a special representative for breathing space, which gives a period of time, I think it's 60 days, where you can't chase that person for their arrears, because it gives them time to get their affairs sorted out, to hopefully get themselves in a better position to manage their debts and manage what they owe. That is new, and that will obviously affect people that might be going through eviction proceedings. If that ever does become a thing now, it's now they've updated the notices, the Section 8 notices, to reflect breathing space. If it isn't applied for, then that's not an issue, but if it's applied for, then that can cause a bit of a delay with that, and it has to be notified to the court as to whether that's happened or not. But it's designed to help people, but it is something which landlords need to be aware of now if they are applying for Section 21s or Section 8 notices. So it's something just to be aware of. But that's another piece of legislation that's come in very, very recently, and it's something just to be aware of.
So moving on from the painful thing of notices.
Sorry.
It's been a very depressing segment there, but also a quick update internally. As you know, myself and James have been here for a long time, and we work closely together on the letting side. We have introduced sales into our sphere, certainly. Sales up until now was looked after, although under the same branding, it was effectively run separately. But we're finding a lot of our sales are landlord to landlord sales. And we were finding that myself and James were getting quite heavily involved in that anyway, just facilitating things like tenancy documents to solicitors and things like that. So we actually felt that we were able to add that to our list of roles within the business. So if you are looking to sell one of your buy-to-let investments, we just thought it would make sense for that to be handled by us as part of the lettings team. So the sales team now comes under myself and James, and we will be facilitating all of the sales through the business, but in particular landlord to landlord sales. So if you are considering offloading a couple of your investments, or if you're looking to buy more buy-to-let properties, then speak to us, because we are looking to bridge a lot of those transactions between landlords. We've got a few going through at the moment where we've sold stuff and barely got on the market.
Yeah, well, we're seeing quite a lot of investors around that are actively looking, and so opening up that market to our clients is something we're quite keen to do. As I said, we've been sort of involved in it anyway, but now we've taken on that as part of our responsibility, and we were able to sort of help and with that, and given our knowledge of the lettings market as well. We're happy to offer investment advice for people that are looking for buy-to-let properties. So, it's a service which is there, and hopefully,
you already know us, so hopefully we'll just give some continuity and we'll help you with that. But it's been good so far. First month of being involved in that, we've agreed 9 sales, which for our business size is good in sales. Sales obviously isn't as big as our lettings department, but if that just enables you to sell your property quickly or buy another one quickly. We know the tenants, we know the property, so it can be a fairly easy process.
Another point on that. Actually, for some people, having a tenant in place isn't a bad thing. So you can sell. We're seeing several of our agreed sales that are going through with tenants in situ. From an investor's point of view, you mean you're receiving rent from day one, and it's just sometimes it's not the end of the world if somebody is in place with that. But I understand a lot of people might want vacant possession before selling the property, but it's just because you've got a tenant in place doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad time to maybe look and then think about what you might want to do. But it's obviously a service that we're able to offer now, and something we're hopefully able to help move things forward for you.
Yeah, and the referral thing goes for that as well. If you've got any friends or colleagues or family that are looking to sell a property, then you can obviously think of us, and if you do introduce them, we'll be happy to reward you obviously for that custom. So that's pretty much it today. That's the spring update. Sorry it's not more exciting, but we're very aware that we haven't recorded one of these in a while, and I think the last one, my beard was a bit shorter. It's kind of getting longer with each video, but we are here. We are obviously very, very busy going into a summer months, and I think now it's about generating business, keep the market moving, get properties on for landlords like yourself to buy, or get yours on to sell to other landlords. That's the kind of theme for the summer, I think. Let's get things moving again. The market's moving. Just need to keep that stock coming in, and then we'll keep the market moving, which obviously drives the economy forward.
Good stuff. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for listening. It's been good to speak to you again. We'll hopefully get some more guests on and things soon as well, as we plan for the rest of the year. But nice to see you again. Speak soon. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.